Today, I'm out here with the intent to catch a fish, or several, using this knife. Before we get started, let's take a look at what we've got and get a plan for what we're going to use. So, I took one of the scales off the knife, and inside we've got a couple of bait holder hooks, we've got a couple of split shot sinkers, and we've got a little Cast Champ fishing lure. Since this creek here has trout in it and the banks are really rocky and it's early in the springtime and there's still actually a lot of snow on the ground, I doubt that we're going to be able to find any worms to use. So that lure is going to be my main tool of the day. So I'm going to put these hooks and sinkers and stuff back in the scale, and I'm going to take this paracord apart and make a fishing line out of it that will tie it to a branch, a willow, something, and use that for a fishing pole. So let's get started. The first part of building my fishing line actually isn't taking the paracord apart, but it's actually getting a fire going. The reason being, when I get the little strands of paracord pulled apart to where I can tie them into one long, thin line, I want to be able to melt the ends of the tiny little strands so that they don't slip apart, because the paracord strands are really slick, and even after you tie them in a knot, you pull on them and there's a good chance that you can just pull that knot right apart. So I want to be able to melt the ends and keep them from coming apart. So I'm going to gather some firewood first and get a fire going. Now that I have my fire going, I'm going to show you taking the paracord apart to be able to make the fishing line. So up here, right in here, you'll be able to see where the cord is melted together. So just take your knife and cut that cord right there where it's melted together. Cut it, break it, whatever. And then you'll be able to get that strand out of the way and pull on this tail, and it just comes out just like that. Because there's a lot of little strands in this, which I'm going to show you, you don't have to pull out everything to be able to make a short fishing line. I'm just going to use probably this much cord, so I'll go ahead and cut it off here. set the sheath and the rest of the cord aside. Now this end that I cut, I'm going to try and show you here. Pull that sheath down. Now we've got all these little strands. I think there's 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So I'm going to pull these little strands out and tie them together to make a fishing line. But the other end, it's still melted, so I got to cut the end off of it. Put that end in the fire. Now we'll work that outer sheath off. And we have a bunch of strands ready to be tied together after we burn the ends. Okay, I've got one of my sticks from the fire. I don't know if you can tell that that's glowing or not. Anyway, I'm gonna hold it to the end of my, gonna hold it to the end of my cord here, and now it's got a hard little melted blob on the end. I'll turn it around. Got to keep my stick hot. I'm gonna melt the other end too. Wow, my fingers are getting hot. So I'll do that with all the rest of those little cords. Now, burning the ends of those little pieces of line before I knot them and tie them together might seem like a really little thing, not a big deal, but it's usually little things that get people in really big survival situations. So, like if I went to catch a fish, I put my lure on, and I didn't burn one of those ends, and it came undone when I got a fish, or when it dropped into a deep hole or something and got snagged, and I pulled on it and it pulled apart, then I would have lost my lure and I'd be out. So I really don't want that to happen if I'm depending on my fishing lure, my gear, that sort of stuff to keep me alive. So the little things aren't little, they're big. Okay, I've got my strands, I've got them burned, melted. I'm going to tie a knot in each end of each string. Just a simple overhand knot, just something to keep things from coming apart. So just a regular old knot on the end. That string's done. I'll do that to the rest of them. Oops, I almost forgot that one. Okay, now that we got our strings, the ends melted, the ends tied, now we can start tying them together to make a fishing line. So, just get a nice sturdy knot tied. I'm kind of in the habit of tying square knots, but that being said, granny knots actually hold better. Square knots are good if you want to be able to untie your knot, but granny knots are better if you want it to stay tied. So, I got my knot tied, pulling on it. It's not coming apart. I know I'm not going to catch a fish big in this creek big enough to break that, so I think that section is good. So, I'll continue that with the rest of them. I got my fishing line, several feet worth, all those little strands tied together. Now it's time to find a fishing pole. This is looking like it will make a fantastic fishing pole. It's small and slender and flexible, so I think it will make an ideal candidate for the little crick fish that I'm likely to find here. Probably call that good. Back there. At the end of my rod, I'm gonna cut a little bitty notch in the bark around the end to keep a bit of a loop of fishing line in. Just a teeny little notch like that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my line and tie it around in that notch. I probably just should have saved one piece of my fishing line for this, because I'm going to end up cutting a section out of my fishing line. Okay. I've got it wrapped around, I've got it tied, I'm going to tie it again. And now, I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to tie them so that I have a little loop at the end of my fishing pole. I'll show you what I mean here in just a bit. See that loop? Okay, I'm going to trim the excess the main part of my line off. And I'm going to burn the ends and make sure they're good. So grab my stick. That one's melted. Tie a knot in it. Okay, this is my main fishing line. Now this one, that freshly cut end, I'm gonna melt it down a little bit. Now I've got a little loop right here, and if it comes undone, it's not going to be a big deal because of how I'm going to set up the rest of my pole. So I'm going to take my fishing line and run it through here, through that little loop. Try not to fall in the creek while I'm backing up. And I'm going to tie my fishing line to the pole back here midway or close to the back end of it, so that I'll be able to have some control of it. I won't be worried about the tip breaking off and my whole line going in the water if my line was to be tied to just the tip of the pole. So this can slide back and forth, or at least it will once I get past the knot right there. I can slide this a little bit. Now it's time to tie my lure on. Okay. Get my lure set aside. It goes down the rock. Put my other stuff back in the knife and get it securely put away. Just run my line through that little loop there. And tie probably another granny knot, something, or a couple of half hitches, something to make sure that hook stays on the line where it's supposed to be. Make sure the fish don't pull it off and take it away. Watch me fumble around with it. Okay, when you get it on, test it. Make sure it's not gonna just pop right off. Okay, let's go see if we can catch a fish. Man, I'm getting so close. I'm seeing a fish go after it, but it's not quite committing. I don't know if you can actually see, if you were able to actually see me in the video, so I'm going to change this a little bit and try it again. Man, what a fishing trip, what a chase. But I won. I got him. Whew. One thing about survival fishing is if you get a fish on the line, you throw that sucker out of the creek and onto the bank as fast as you can and then dive on it. This little bugger came off of the hook and you saw the scramble. My glasses were kind of coming down to where I couldn't see, so I had to throw them away and dive on the fish. But anyway, I got him. I got a fish using my survival knife and the gear in it. It works. Woohoo! I'm safely dead. Fish number 2. We did it. We caught fish using stuff in this survival knife and from the surrounding area. It is possible. And since I showed you how to catch the little buggers. I guess I ought to show you how to gut them too. So here we go. Done. Of course, clean your hands off, clean your knife off. This particular knife that I've got right here is carbon steel, so it will rust, but if you take care of it, it'll work great. It's got a little bit of blood and stuff here. I'll just pretty much just do that, and I wipe down the handle a little bit too. Once I get home, I'll spray a little WD-40 on it. Well, I'll take it apart, spray a little WD-40 on it, wipe it down with a paper towel or something. It'll be good to go. Now for a roasting stick. I'm going to whittle this end down fairly small and sharp so I can run my fish on it. Get rid of the knots and stuff like that. Just skewer him. The end of my stick is about right there. Good stuff. Thanks for watching the video, folks. It was a lot of fun to make. Keep your eye open for some more videos, and see you next time.